KWAM app today. Just go to the Google Play Store on your Android device and search KWAM.
Here's Business Spotlight from your local voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990. And here's your host, George Bryant.
Good morning. It's not George this morning. It's Greg sitting in for George this morning here on Business Spotlight. And it's Tuesdays, so that means it's Let's Talk Growth with Triumph Bank and our host, Tracy Strickland. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning, Greg. How are you this morning?
I am doing great. It's a little gloomy outside, but I'll take this
cooler weather.
I'll take the cool weather
all day long. And and waking up this morning, I think the first thing when I looked at the date, I realized it was September 11th. So I know we're going to take this as a day of remembrance. Everybody listening knows, I'm sure, exactly where you were and what you were doing 17 years ago. And it was about this time, exactly. So I'll take a moment and just be very thankful for my family and all of our families at Triumph, but thankful for the people that had to endure such suffering during that day. Yes. So, but I will turn the attention to our show. I love this moment where we can really talk about the great things that are going on in Memphis, what we do at Triumph to improve that in every way. We have a lot of our team members that work with our customers to help their financial dreams come true, whether it's in our local branches or it's our commercial lending officers. But today's show, my special guest is, we call ourselves our work BFFs. This is Catherine Duncan. She is Vice President of Human Resources at Triumph. Later this year, she'll be celebrating her 9th anniversary at the bank. She is one of the most amazing women. I just love working with her every day, and I'm just so glad you're with me this morning.
I feel the same way, Tracy. Thanks for having me.
I love, she really paints a picture to all of our new team members when she talks to them initially about coming to work at Triumph, about what their career path can be. And, I know that when you started your career way back when, it wasn't in human resources. Can you give us a brief background on how you got to the place that you are, not only at Triumph, but in human resources, and what you love most about it?
It's very interesting. I definitely did not have your natural or typical career path. When I first graduated from college, I actually I had a marketing and sales degree, and my first job was at New York Life on September 11th, 2001.
Gosh.
I was actually in Memphis, so this day is really, I think a lot about the people every year on this day. And after I left New York Life, I worked as a paralegal for about 9 years for a small law firm in Germantown. And after I left the law firm, I was actually left after maternity leave. I had just had my child, and I started Triumph when my second little boy was 8 weeks old. So It was definitely a challenge. I started there as a teller and did not have any banking experience whatsoever, but I had some great mentors who worked with me and gave me opportunity. And today, after 9 years, I have been working and managing the Human Resources Department since 2012. And when I first started in the role, I had about 50 employees, just shy of 50 employees. And today we have 145. So lots of growth. And so what's important to me is to be able to share the opportunities that Triumph can provide, just like they did for me. So I try to pass that on, pay it forward, and once I identify someone that I think would be a good fit for the bank, I paint this beautiful picture so that they can see where they could grow within the company.
And you're masterful at it. So when we come back, I want to talk about the differences, because I know we have differences in ages. It really has changed your perspective on how you even hold job interviews and the type of talent that you look for to join our team at Triumph. So I will touch on some of those things, as well as some job openings we've got at Triumph when we come back.
It's Tracy Strickland with Let's Talk Growth and Triumph Bank. You can reach Triumph at 901-333-8800 or triumphbank.com. We'll be right back in just a moment with more with Tracy and Catherine. You're listening to KWAM, The Voice. Now, here's your Mid-South weather forecast from the News Channel 3 Severe Weather Center and Todd Demers, right here on KWAM The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Continued mostly cloudy and mild. High temperatures in the upper 70s today. Winds mainly out of the east. Just a slight chance for a few sprinkles. Mid-60s overnight, but will warm into the low and mid-80s over the next several days. The Racket Club, proud to introduce a new wellness program, Live Well. Wellness is not a destination, it's a lifestyle. For more information, call the Racket Club at 901-765-4444. I'm News Channel 3's Todd Demers on The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
And now back to Business Spotlight on The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
And we're back with Tracy Strickland and Let's Talk Growth here on KWAM The Voice, and her guest, Catherine Duncan, Vice President of Human Resources at Triumph Bank.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Tracy?
Good. As we talk with Catherine, it's really interesting. We have to do a lot of, we have to take the veil back and really look at our team. And I know I was like employee 83 or something almost 5 years ago. So to know in 5 years we've jumped like 60 people, it's pretty mind-boggling. So our whole Let's Talk Growth, we never realized what a good tagline that would be as far as how our company is growing. And, Catherine has to look at a lot of data as far as like who's our team and who, like the demographics of it all. And I don't know, maybe about a year ago, you made a really good conscious choice to say, okay, age-wise, where are we? And because I think it determines like not only career pathing, but just how you approach interviews when you're attracting new team members. So I know you were saying that there's like that 40-year-old mark in the road that about half our team is over 40 and half of our team is under 40. We won't disclose what side we're on.
Right.
At all. But I know that when you were starting to look at that, how did that change your approach as far as recruiting new talent to Triumph?
Well, it's a great observation to have. And, what it can tell us is that we have really 4 generations spread across the workforce, which it's already challenging enough for businesses to attract and retain talent. But when you're looking at really 4 different personalities types, and how these different generations have been brought into the workforce, it is very challenging for us. And so, it's important for us, I guess, at Triumph. My assistant Katie and I, we spend a lot of time at job fairs, and so it gets you in front of a lot of people at once. And you can typically identify, because we've been doing it as long as we have, we can pretty much pick up on someone's personality or whether or not they'd be a good fit for the Triumph culture pretty much right off the bat. And I think once you have that, you can get them in the door, and you can, let's just your culture, make sure they want to be here before you offer them that full-time position. I think we've been really successful with that. I mean, I've had some great hires over the last couple of years by meeting people at these job fairs, and I feel like we've been able to create a career path for them, and that's part of us, keeping them engaged is going to be very important in growing that long-term banker, that long-term employee.
Well, you mentioned the culture, and we know what it is because we live it, and we're working it every day. But for those people who are listening, driving to work right now, how would you summarize our culture at Triumph?
I would say that we work hard and have fun at the same time. It's a very family-oriented organization. I mean, it's not so HRE to give people hugs, but every time I see somebody, I just want to give them a great big hug and see how they're doing. I think it's important that everybody knows each other, even though we're growing. I feel like everybody still has a good grasp on what people do and who each other are. And, I was so excited. Did you hear about Whitney?
No.
Whitney, one of our Triumph branch managers had her baby last night at 9:42.
Oh my gosh.
Healthy baby boy.
Yay.
So congratulations to Whitney and John and your family. We're very, very excited. We have been on the edge of our seats waiting for Whitney to have this baby.
Oh my gosh. And then Lindsay, we had another baby
That's
last
right.
week born. So we've had 2 new babies in the Triumph family be born. But we're part of it. We're throwing, baby showers for each other. But there's this aura of common respect, I think, because there's so many different roles that make a bank work.
Right.
And when the customers come in, they see those bankers, those tellers, those commercial loan officers that they work with every day. But there's so many other people that work at this bank that make everything seamless in the background, and so I think that that's such an important part of it. And you talked about those 4 generations, and I guess it's very interesting coming from somebody who's working and living and breathing HR the whole time. Like, what do you see as those 4 generations, and what are the main differences between them all?
Gosh,
obviously, our senior veterans, right? So the ones that probably are in their early 60s.
And they're looking what their focus is today. These are the ladies and gentlemen that started our bank and have been in the workforce for a long time, and they're looking. They've built this company up, and what they want to do is find those people in their workforce today that can take over that role for them. And so their focus is really going to be on your 30 to 40 somethings that are going to step into that role after they're gone. I feel like they're more of a face-to-face conversationalist type, where the newer generation that's coming in, they're more email and tech savvy, and it's really important for the millennials and the older generation, the boomers, to understand each other.
Right.
Because what the boomers may think when they get a text or they get an email from a millennial is that they're being rude because they're not having that conversation. So it's really about, I need to teach everyone, how each other work. And so, one might be doing one thing, but it's really not something that they're doing to come off as rude.
And how do we better communicate?
Right.
I think when we better communicate as a team, then we're going to better communicate with our customers, when they walk in as well. So it's all relationship based.
Absolutely.
So, and that's so important. So when you're finding somebody at the job fair, what kind of person, like when you're talking about somebody that really fits into the culture of Triumph, tell me, like, that person when you meet at the job fair that you automatically know you want to talk to. Talk about their characteristics.
It's first of all, it's going to be the way they present themselves, the way they carry themselves. I definitely want to see somebody confident, but it's not necessarily someone that has to have a finance degree, because what people don't understand is that there's so many roles in a company, and you have to have so many different personalities. So I don't necessarily look for one particular thing, or I'm really more focused on what that person could bring to the table, and I think in a couple of years I'm really going to have a need for this, and I think that this person could do this.
Right.
And I take Katie with me now. Katie is definitely in the younger generation, and she is really able to help relate to those people more than I can, since I'm so dang old.
Whatever.
I'm just kidding. But I think the two of us together make a really good team, because she may see something that I don't, and then I'll pick up on something that she might not, and we just kind of teach each other. So
Right. Well, and like you said, I mean, they don't necessarily have to have a banking or finance background at all. In fact, a lot of our retail team, we have, great manuals that we train our team on how to open accounts and do all of those type things. But sometimes I've always heard there are those hard skills and then the soft skills. And the soft skills are so much harder to teach somebody new.
Right.
And that's, how do you communicate? How do you make eye contact? How do you make somebody feel important and comfortable? And so I think I would suspect that those are some of those skills that you're automatically looking for when you meet somebody.
Absolutely.
They're relatable, because whether or not they're in front of a customer, 8 hours a day, they're in front of their team, right? And so we want to be able to make sure we hire somebody that somebody wants to sit next to for 8 hours a day, 50 weeks a year. Well, I think that is incredibly important, I think, for everybody listening, is like to understand the communication differences. I think that every generation has its struggle, and I think that millennials get a bad rap. There's so much talent there. I think that it's creating a culture of common respect, for both sides. Let's make sure that the 20s and early 30-year-olds, are going to be respecting those that came before them, but also to make sure that those the ones that are a little bit more senior are listening to the good ideas, so that we can have a great culture of understanding one another too. But you put a lot of things in place, not only our great benefits package, but we have a lot of recognition and fun things that we do for our team. You want to touch on some of those?
Absolutely. Actually, with the fun things, we have something really exciting coming up, and I cannot take any credit for it. Actually, one of our team members and Tracy got together, and we're going to have this team building party, and it evolved into this
Triumph Fallapalooza.
There's cornhole, there's trivia, and I'm so disappointed that I've got another board meeting that night, but I'm going to come a little bit late because Katie needs me on her cornhole team.
Yeah. But we have about, like at least once a quarter, we try to have a really fun event for all the team, because we've got team members. Obviously, we have a team in Nashville now that are a Metro All-Stars in Brentwood. So if you do any business in Brentwood, please call our team over there. But we've got, our team is stretched all over,
Right. We have 8 different offices,
Yeah.
and so it's important to try to get everybody together at least once a quarter, so that they have an opportunity to, hang out with and be with in person, that somebody that they work with every day but don't necessarily get to see. And so it really builds that camaraderie, and, in turn that will pass through to our customers, when we So
it's so much fun with all that. So I know when we come back, I want to have you talk. I know we have a couple of job openings that are coming up, and then we'll wrap up by talking about some of our awesome community service projects we've been doing the past few weeks.
It's Tracy Strickland, the Senior Vice President of Marketing for Triumph Bank, with Let's Talk Growth, and her guest, Catherine Duncan, the Vice President of Human Resources. We're going to come back, like Tracy said, and wrap things up here in just a few minutes. You're listening to The Voice, KWAM. The Memphis Daily News Report, credible, reliable, always unbiased. It'll take 6 to 8 weeks to seal off Kirby High School and rid it of a rat infestation. That's what Shelby County School Superintendent Dorsey Hobson told several hundred parents and students on Thursday. Hobson said he's exploring several options and plans to make recommendations to the SCS board Tuesday at the board's monthly work session. Hobson said school workers who had been renovating space for a career technical education program at Kirby disturbed a nest of rats in a storage building. An NBC Marist poll is giving former Democratic Governor Phil Bredesen a slight edge over Republican U.S. Representative Marsha Blackburn in a race that could change the makeup of the U.S. Senate. 48% of registered voters surveyed in late August backed Bredesen, compared to 44% who supported Blackburn. Beginning in the fall of 2019, all University of Memphis students will pay base tuition, with non-Tennessee residents and international students paying an additional fee. For more on these stories, pick up a print edition of the Daily News or go to memphisdailynews.com.
And now back to Business Spotlight on The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Good morning. We're shining our spotlight this morning on Triumph Bank. Let's talk growth with Tracy Strickland and her guest, Catherine Duncan. Tracy, how are you?
Hello, Greg. Well, glad to be back. Glad to be here this Tuesday morning with my amazing friend, Catherine. Just love this woman and what she does for our bank, and how she sets just such an amazing culture for our team. And I know one of the things that you have really focused on, especially the last year or two, is when you first meet with a prospective employee, it's setting out a potential career path for them, as well as not only getting to know their talents and everything, but figuring out what they really want to do. And we have kind of a very recent success story on how you were able to listen to what their desires were in their career and make it happen over the last few months. I would love for you to talk about that.
Yes, actually, we interviewed a young man who was referred to, I think, one of our customers' grandsons or something like that along those lines. And he is a recent graduate of the University of Memphis, had some finance background. And what was really intriguing about him, it was that he spoke Japanese. He'd been taking to Japanese and teaching Japanese for 10 years, and also was a statistics guru who taught and tutored in statistics. And so I thought, oh gosh, we don't have anybody like him. It's going to be, if I can get this guy in the door, some great things could happen, because he can definitely provide some diversity.
Right, yeah.
And so I listened to him, and he told me that he was really interested in being an analyst. Anyone that's ever tried to come in the door and start off as a credit analyst at any bank or financial institution will learn very quickly that that's not something that happens overnight. And so at Triumph, we have started developing a program where our employees will come in and we teach them the basics of learning to be an analyst, and we give them this career path where they can move more onto just the credit underwriting side, or even move into a commercial loan officer role. So with Michael Markham, he's the young man that we hired. I think he started back in April. And I told him, I said, I once you get in the door, it's going to be some time. It's not going to happen overnight, but we're going to slowly give you some projects, and let's let you understand banking a little bit. And fortunately for him, it happened much more quickly than he thought. So we were able, with our internal promotion program, or not internal promotion, internal job posting program, I posted a job, and I told Michael that it was going to be coming up the pipe, and this is something that I encouraged him to apply for because it was right up his alley. Yeah. And he did, and he got the role, and he started his new role. What was it, yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday. So congratulations to Michael. You're our most recent success story at Triumph, and I know you're going to do a great job working in the commercial loan department.
And he's got just an amazing personality too. He was at our Poplar office and always has a smile. Again, just the absolute prototype of what you want as a team member. Always wanting to help. So, and he's just a joy. But I know that kind of eases us into really what we're looking for. We're always looking for new talent. And so you want to talk about any job openings we might have, or if you are looking for a job or interested in possibly working at Triumph, how they could reach you?
Yes, I'm like Tracy said, I'm always looking to meet new people. I have a pipeline, just like our commercial loan officers have a pipeline. So in the event that I need to fill a position quickly, I'll be able to pick up the phone and call you. I do actually have some openings, but please, even if I didn't, I wouldn't want you to not send your resume or come and meet me if you were interested. Today, we're looking for some consumer direct loan officers. That is in our mortgage division. I have not had the people that I have brought on over the last couple of years, 18 months to 2 years, they have been very, very successful and without any former banking experience. You just really have to have a nice phone voice and be able to talk and sell over the phone. I'm also looking for loan processors, and the Memphis office. It would be in our East Memphis office. And so in any other job openings that we might have, they're going to be on our website. You can email us your resume at humanresources@triumphbank.com, or you can even give us a call at 901-333-8800. Our website is www.triumphbank.com, and you can check under career information for any jobs that we have posted.
And we usually post them also on LinkedIn or Facebook and other medias. But we would love if you're interested to come talk to us. But I think one of the things that we love is just really sharp people who love to communicate, want to build relationships. we've done that a lot in the community through our work at our community partners. It's another way our team gets together. But Catherine, thank you so much, not only for being here this morning, but truly the great things that you do at the bank. You are the heart of Triumph. I completely believe that. And what you breathe into our team as far as positivity and growth and just pure love and really caring for their well-being. We're a better bank because of you.
Aw,
So,
thank you.
I mean, completely. Thank you for being here this morning and everything that you do. You're awesome.
Tracy Strickland of Triumph Bank and Let's Talk Growth, 333-8800 or triumphbank.com, or visit them at any of the 4 locations around Memphis as well. Tracy, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Awesome. Have a great week, Greg. Thanks.
You're listening to The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.